Hey everyone, so we hear about artificial intelligence literally every single day, right? But what does its future actually look like? Today, we're going to break it all down. We're talking three distinct stages that'll help us understand where we are right now, where we're headed, and what might be lurking just beyond our wildest imagination. So let's dive in. Yeah, this is the big one, isn't it? It's the question on everybody's mind. Is AI going to be our greatest invention or maybe our last? I mean, it promises to solve some of humanity's biggest problems, but it also kicks up some pretty deep, profound fears. So, which is it? Well, the answer is way more complicated than you might think. You see, the path to answering that question isn't a simple yes or no. It really starts by getting one crucial thing straight. Not all AI is created equal. The AI we have in our pockets today is fundamentally different from the AI you see in science fiction. It's all about understanding these three distinct stages: ANI, AGI, and ASI. All right, so let's start with what we already have. This is the AI that's basically woven into the fabric of our daily lives, whether we realize it or not. Welcome to the age of artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI for short. Okay, so think of ANI as a specialist. It's an AI that is an absolute master of one thing, and one thing only. It doesn't think or reason in a general sense, like we do. Nope. It's a highly optimized tool designed for a single purpose, and it performs that purpose with, frankly, superhuman skill. And look, you use this stuff all the time, probably without even thinking about it. When you ask Siri for the weather, that's ANI. When Netflix suggests a new show it knows you're gonna love, that's ANI. Your spam filter, your GPS, your phone's uncanny ability to recognize your face, all of these are powerful examples of artificial narrow intelligence hard at work. This right here, this really gets to the heart of ANI. On the one hand, it can master a specific task with superhuman ability. I mean, think of a chess program that can beat any grandmaster on the planet. But on the other hand, that very same program has no idea what a chess piece even is. It doesn't know it's playing a game. The AI that recommends your movies can't give you driving directions. It's incredibly powerful, but it's also incredibly brittle. So if that's what we have now, where are we headed? Well, this brings us to the holy grail of AI research, the quest for artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is where we make the leap from a specialized tool to something that can, actually think. AGI, now this is the AI we all know from the movies. It's a machine with the kind of cognitive abilities a human has. It wouldn't just be a master of one task. It could learn and reason and plan and solve problems across a whole range of different areas, just like one of us. So what would it actually take to get there? Well, an AGI would need to show real reasoning, think abstractly, maybe even be creative. But crucially, it would need common sense. That giant unspoken library of knowledge about how the world works that we just get. And it would have to learn and adapt on the fly, constantly getting better. Okay, so let's be clear, we are not there yet. Not even close. But man, the progress we're seeing is just staggering. We're seeing these huge leaps with models that can understand language and images. But the biggest hurdles? They're still there. How do you program common sense? I mean, it's the millions of unwritten rules about the world. And how does a machine get to genuine understanding or even consciousness? These are some of the hardest questions in all of science. Okay, buckle up, because now we have to look way beyond the horizon. If we somehow manage to build an AGI, an AI as smart as a human, what happens next? This leads us to the final and most profound stage, Artificial Superintelligence, or ASI. So in ASI, it's not just a little bit smarter. We're talking about an intelligence so far beyond our own, it would be, well, almost impossible for us to even wrap our heads around it. Think about the gap in intelligence between you and an ant. The gap between us and an ASI, it could be way bigger. It would excel in every single field you can possibly imagine. But wait, how could that happen, and so fast? The theory is called the intelligence explosion, and it's a wild concept. It starts the second we create a human-level AGI. That AGI could then turn its intelligence toward improving itself, making its own code better, making itself smarter. This new, slightly smarter version would be even better at self-improvement, and that kicks off this insane runaway feedback loop. Each version gets better at making the next version, and the whole thing could just explode from human level to superhuman in what might feel like the blink of an eye. There's a famous way to think about this. Some have called the creation of a superintelligence the last invention that humanity will ever need to make. And why? Because an ASI could, theoretically, invent everything else for us. It could solve problems like disease, poverty, even death itself. But what happens to us when we're no longer the smartest beings on the planet? Yeah, that's the big one. And all of this, the possibility of an ASI, it leads us to one final huge idea, the singularity. This is the point where the conversation shifts from just tech to, well, to the future of humanity itself. The singularity, it's that hypothetical point in time where this ASI's intelligence just takes off, like a runaway train we can't stop, can't steer, and can't even really understand. The future after that moment is a completely blank page. It represents a total break in human history with consequences we literally cannot predict. Which is exactly why we need to be wrestling with these massive questions right now, before it's too late. How do we build an AI that actually shares our values? What happens to human jobs, to our sense of purpose, when a machine can do everything better? Who gets to control this technology? And how in the world do we prevent some kind of catastrophic unintended consequence? So, what's the timeline on all this? When could it actually happen? Well, take a look at this. The experts, they're completely all over the place. Some of the smartest people in this field think AGI is just a decade away. Others think it's 50 years out, or maybe it's not even possible at all. The only real certainty we have is uncertainty. But here's the thing you really need to take away from all this. Regardless of whether AGI or ASI are 10 years away or 100 years away, the pursuit of them, that journey is already changing everything. The push to get from the narrow AI we have today towards a general AI, that's the engine driving our entire technological revolution right now. And that leaves all of us with one last massive question. We are living in the age of narrow AI. We are standing right at the dawn of what might become general AI. So, will we be the generation that witnesses the birth of a new form of intelligence? And maybe, just maybe, the singularity itself? That remains the most fascinating and important question of our time.